going to take a mud bath. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Where's Uncle Wilt, children?
He's gone to take a mud bath.
What's a mud bath? Find Uncle Wilt!
Any ideas, Zook?
No, but I have this phone number that Uncle Wilt wrote on the wall by the telephone this morning.
We gotta get him a notepad.
It looks like one of those 800 numbers from Earth. It says Club Ted Vacation.
May as well call. It's all we have to go on.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Club Ted. If you're calling from a touch-tone phone, please press 1 now. To find out about a romantic transatlantic paddleboat cruise, press 2. To learn about the European Mud Bath Special, press 3.
That's it. Press 3.
Spend 3 relaxing days at Spa Bravo, Italy. Our secluded location is equidistant from the lovely cities of Venice, Milan, and Florence. At Spa Bravo, there's nothing to do but relax, purify the body, and leave the world behind drenched in a delicate bath of mud.
If you'd like to make a reservation, please hold on the line in case one of our representatives takes your call.
Why would Uncle Wilt spend 3 days in a mud hole?
Isn't tomorrow the neon poetry brawl?
Oh, yeah. He'd do anything to get out of that. He's going head-to-head with Ryman Simon.
Well, let's go to Italy and start looking. Oh, right, Zook. Venice, Italy. If we're going to find Spa Bravo, we're going to need a map.
Let's move then. Excuse me.
Oh, good. Someone who speaks English. Can you tell us how to get to the Piazza San Marco?
No.
Can you tell us where Spa Bravo is?
Oh, you must be on the European Mud Bath Special. Well, Spa Bravo is equidistant from Venice, Milan, and Florence. If you ask me, mud treatment is overrated.
What do you mean it's equidistant?
I'm not sure. It's a very difficult language. If I were you, I'd go get a map at the Tourist Information Office just around the corner.
Hello?
Buongiorno.
Are you closed?
Only for lunch.
When do you open again?
After lunch.
When's that?
In 5 hours. Ciao.
Well, now what are we going to do?
Hey, look! There's a map.
Here's Venice. Here's Florence.
And here's Milan. I don't see Spa Bravo on here anywhere, though.
Did you say Spa Bravo?
Yes, do you know it?
Do I know it? It's the finest health spa on the continent.
Where is it?
It's equidistant from Venice, Milan, and Florence, situated in a simply brilliant ruined village.
Who ruined it?
Who ruined what?
The village.
Nobody ruined it. It just got ruined. It's very old.
What do you mean it's equidistant?
I mean it's at the same distance from each of the cities.
Aha! So, Spa Bravo is someplace at an equal distance from Venice, Milan, and Florence.
Precisely.
Why can't you just tell us where it is, huh?
I've never been there. It's very expensive. I'm saving up.
You're saving up to sit in a vat of mud?
You would not understand.
So if Spa Bravo is the same distance from each of these 3 cities, then it and Uncle Wilt should be somewhere around here. Do you have something to write with?
Here's an ink stick.
I think it'll be someplace in this triangle.
But how are we going to find out where?
Well, let's find a point that's the same distance from Venice and Milan.
That's right.
Here. That's the midpoint. But the spa can't be there. It's too far from Florence.
Hey, if we draw a perpendicular line right here, we'll find the points that are equidistant from Venice and Milan.
So Spa Bravo has to be somewhere on that line.
Oh, that's the problem. It could be anywhere on that line.
Yeah. Wait, no it can't. It has to be the same distance from all 3 cities.
So?
So let's try Milan and Florence.
Okay. The midpoint between Milan and Florence is right here.
So I'll draw another perpendicular line here. I think we're getting somewhere.
Somewhere? I think we did it. Look.
What are you talking about?
These 2 lines meet right here in Pazzo. I'll bet that town is equidistant from all 3 cities.
It doesn't look right. Are you sure?
No.
There must be a way to check this.
Yeah? How?
I don't know yet. Wait. I'll measure the distance from Spa Bravo to Venice. And the same length should reach Milan and Florence. It worked.
Wow. So, Spa Bravo and Uncle Wilt are right here in Pazzo.
That's right.
Just another example of my sister, the prodigy.
Not really, Zook. All I did was...
My sister, the thinker.
Cut it out, Zook. People are staring.
My sister, the genius!
Zook,
Yeah?
let's go get Uncle Wilt and deliver him to his public.
Okay. Hey, Uncle Wilt!
Children, how'd you get in here without a reservation?
As soon as we told the guard we're here to take you out, he let us in.
What are you doing in that mud, Uncle Wilt?
Sinking, I believe.
You are aware the poetry brawl begins tomorrow.
I am?
And you can't let your fans down.
Oh, sure I can. Just how much money did they take in at the door?
None. The poetry brawl is a free cultural event, Uncle Wilt.
Then I don't really have to attend.
Yes, you do.
I suppose I do. Under a spreading maple tree, there was no joy in Mudville. For on that final play, down 7 points, mighty Casey fumbled.
Mathman, your mission is to eat all the symmetrical polygons on the board and no others. When you encounter a polygon, you will have until the count of 3 to make your decision. And beware the inconsiderate Mr. Glitch.
Oh.
He will eat you if you are wrong.
Mathman, 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 Mathman.
Oh, man. Uh-oh.
There's the line of symmetry. Mathman, 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 Mathman. Yep.
Goodbye, little Caesar.
Ha ha! Mathman, 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 Mathman. Symmetry, symmetry. Mathman, 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 Mathman.
All right.
No line of symmetry.
Oh.
Here I go. Mathman, 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 Mathman. Symmetry. Mathman, Mathman, Mathman.
Oh, there.
Yeah, 2 lines of symmetry.
Congratulations, Mathman. You have eaten all the symmetrical polygons on the board. Free game.
One of these days, I'm going to win a free game, and when I do, I'll sell it.
I used to be terribly square. Then I learned geometry, and now I'm so cool. And more well-rounded. The power and the freedom of mathematics is a flaming sword. It shall be our duty to use it justly. Hold it high, guard it well. Mathcourt, where common sense prevails. Mathcourt, with the Honorable Judge Sandra Day O'Grady.
Order! Order in my courtroom. I have told you 3 dozen times, never, never, never bring a live hand grenade into my courtroom. It's disquieting. Now remove that spectator. But don't remove the hand grenades. Pin. Now then, Mr. District Attorney, what's on the docket?
Your Benchip, this person is accused of a math crime, and I want her punished.
I am innocent, Your Honorable One. I have the highest respect for law and order.
Well, I am the law.
And I'll place my order. 2 burgers to go.
Any fries or shakes with that?
1 small fry, 2 shakes of lamb tail.
Oh, stop that! Now then, what is the alleged perpetrator accused of having done?
It is not what she did, Your Excellency. It is what she didn't do.
That's what I said. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything.
She owns a clock store, and she refused to sell me a grandfather's clock.
Perhaps her grandfather was still using it.
Not the case.
I want my clock to have good homes. I wouldn't sell him the clock because it wouldn't fit in his room. The clock is too tall.
Why would you want to buy a clock that doesn't fit in your room?
Au contraire, Judge O. The grandfather's clock is 8 feet tall. The ceiling in my room is 8 feet 1 inch from the floor. There is 1 inch to spare. I want this clock seller arrested and put where the sun don't shine and the clocks don't tick.
This is a very serious charge, alleged perp. The district attorney would seem to have caught you in the midst of a math crime. Do you dispute the facts as presented?
Oh, not in the least. What he says is true, but the clock won't fit.
You see, Your Honor, another example of deceit, duplicity, and chicanery.
You watch your language, young law person. This is a family court. Now, what are you trying to say?
That the alleged perpetrator is a liar. An 8-foot clock will fit in a room with an 8-foot 1 inch ceiling.
Oh, with the judge's permission, may I?
Go ahead, but things don't look too good for you. My guess is you'll be going over. Bailiff?
represents an 8-foot clock, Your Honor.
That thing you're holding is a clock?
It is, Your Honor.
Then you have time on your hands. Quiet. You'll either laugh at my jokes or you'll do time.
As your eyes will clearly show you, the clock fits.
Well, by doing it the way you did it, yes, it does.
Then I find you guilty.
Oh, Your Honor, you break my heart.
Then I'll give you another one and put them both in jail for 4 years.
2 hearts, 4 years?
With a year off for good behavior, you'll have 2 hearts beating in 3/4 time.
Oh, but Judge, I'm innocent. The clock doesn't fit. Look, how do you expect to get it into the room?
What a silly question. Through the door, of course.
Very good, Mr. District Attorney. You're not as dumb as you look, but then few people are.
The standard door is 7 feet high, so how would you carry the clock into the room?
Well, on an angle, of course. See?
And then what happens when you try to stand it up?
Trouble?
Well, it seems to be bumping stuff.
Oh, yes, that's because of this measurement. You have to measure this diagonal line. It's longer than the height of the clock. And on this clock itself, this diagonal is about 8 feet 3 inches tall. The ceiling is only 8 feet 1 inch. Therefore, the clock will not stand up. And that is why I refuse to tell you the clock.
The defendant is absolutely correct, Mr. District Attorney.
Apparently, I owe her an apology.
You owe her an apology and court costs of $1,000.
Could I pay the costs on time?
And yet one more time, justice has been served in Mathcourt. But the burgers and the fries still haven't arrived.
Who are you?
Patterns, brought to you by Geometry, another division of mathematics. It's more than just arithmetic.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Wednesday, 9:43 a.m., and New Yorkers were complaining about the musicals on the Broadway stage. One wag saw 3 hit shows. In one, a helicopter crashed. In another, a chandelier fell. And in the third, a pile of debris was pushed to center stage and left there. To save money, he said in the future he was going to stay home, play the cast albums, and watch city crews pick up the trash. My partner is George Franklin. The boss is Joe Greco. My name is Tuesday. I'm a mathematician. We were up to our cellulite in a mystery we called the case of the smart dummy, in which a ventriloquist dummy who could talk and a ventriloquist who couldn't were in search of yet another dummy. We decided to review earlier shows in hopes that we would smarten up. Charlie and Edgar had just returned to New York from a number of performances in Middle America. But when they returned, the third member of their troupe, a dummy named Lally, was missing. They figured the bags had been switched at the airport, and when George opened the other suitcase...
Bet there's over $1 million here.
Want to go to lunch?
Bags get switched all the time, so I called TWM looking for the name of the man who had lost a bundle. Strange.
What?
No one has called. Charlie, when did you get in? Then we hypothesized that the $1 million might be illegal money, and the owner couldn't call for fear he'd be found out. If that was the case, he would try and find who had the money. We checked with Charlie and Edgar's agent, a 10%er named Broadway Annie Rose.
I'd like to ask you about one of your clients.
3 of them, actually. Charlie, Edgar, and Lally.
Great act. Want to book them?
No.
Anything wrong?
Yes. Lolly's been dummy napped.
That's terrible. Any suspects?
Not really.
Woodpeckers is where I'd put my dough. If not woodpeckers, termites.
We don't think so, Broadway, Annie. But we want to know if anyone's asked about them.
No.
Annie assured us she would call if someone came nosing around. We examined the stolen money more closely. Look at this.
What?
This money's from different cities.
So?
The Bank of Columbus. Here's a bunch from the Des Moines Trust. The Ann Arbor Savings.
Money comes from different banks, Pat. That's not unusual.
No, it isn't. The rest of the money's from Minneapolis and Dayton.
5 cities.
Yes. The same 5 cities just visited by our friends Charlie,
Edgar,
and Lally. What's up, guys? What's the chart?
When I learned of the coincidence of the 5 cities, I contacted the police in each of them.
We wanted to see if there'd been any bank robberies in those cities.
I take it there were?
Just a couple of banks.
Oh?
In Ann Arbor, a bank was robbed. They got $325,000.
Is this piddly little amount a bank robbery in Columbus, Ohio?
No, that's the Honors Program Scholarship Fund at Ohio State.
Too bad. But they didn't get much.
Wiped it out, that's all.
In Des Moines, they knocked over an armored car.
How about Dayton?
A shopping mall.
And Minneapolis?
Another bank. Total take, $1,285,302.
So if this is the money, we're short by nearly 300 grand. You bringing in Edgar and Charlie for questioning?
I've sent their pictures to various police departments to see if they can get IDs. Things don't look good for them.
Captain, I know they didn't do it.
Me too.
I hope I'm wrong, Mathnetters.
Mathnet Tuesday. Oh, yes. Right away. The DA wants to see us, George.
The district attorney?
She may have gotten the ID reports. She's a tough taskmaster. But she's fair.
Good.
Except in court. She's a bulldog.
Should we talk to her or pet her?
You wanted to see us, District Attorney Wofford?
Yes. Take a seat.
Boy, DAs have spiffier offices than mathematicians. We don't even have a couch.
I didn't ask you up here to admire my couch.
Good, because I don't admire it. Just make an observation. I have one like this in my whoopee room.
I understand you've become friendly with the guilty parties.
Guilty parties?
The robbers, Edgar Bergman and Charlie McStick.
Yes, they're friends, but I must have missed the trial when they were found guilty of robbery.
The trial in this case, Mr. Franklin, is a mere formality.
What do you mean?
They were identified as the hold-up men in Ann Arbor, Dayton, Des Moines, Minneapolis, and Columbus. Positive identification. And we caught them with the money.
We didn't catch them with the money. They surrendered it.
Don't be a nitpicker.
May I see the reports?
No. This show's running long as it is. Take my word for it. They were identified.
What are you going to do, Ms. District Attorney?
Do? Nothing. I've already done it. They're in New York's finest jail.
The tombs in Lower Manhattan?
No. The tomes under the New York Public Library. Just thought you might like to know. Softies.
I never liked going to jail.
I don't mind going. I hate staying.
Have you ever done time, George?
Well, at Mathnet University, we had to spend one day in jail just so we'd know what it was like.
I didn't have to do that at Mathnet U.
Yeah, they changed the requirements by the time you got there.
What was jail like?
Nice place to visit, but...
I wouldn't want to live there. I'm afraid Charlie and Edgar will be mortified by being in jail.
Yeah. Jail knocks the starch out of people.
You dirty screws! I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm gonna give it to you like they they did it to my brother. I'm too young to die. I want to see the sunrise again. Stop and smell the roses. Feel the wind through my knothole.
Easy, Charlie. Easy.
Get me a mouthpiece. Get me a rewrite. Get me a ham sandwich.
Charlie, calm down.
Hold the mail. I'm sorry, Pat and George. Jail always does this to me.
Have you been in jail before?
No, that I've seen a lot of bad prison movies. George, did you ever see Life Was But a Song He Lived in Sing Sing?
No, but I once took a river trip on a raft named George.
This is serious, Charlie. You swear you didn't commit those robberies?
Absolutely.
But they have witnesses in Ann Arbor, Minneapolis, Des Moines, Dayton, and Columbus who will swear you did.
They're lying. Minneapolis? Did you say Minneapolis?
Yes, why?
Because we weren't in Minneapolis.
Come off it, Charlie. Broadway Annie Rose said she booked you there.
She did, but we didn't do the show.
Why not?
We were snowed out, that's why not. We couldn't get there. A terrible blizzard.
Really?
Would I lie?
I don't know. I would in your position.
Yeah.
Where were you when you were supposed to be in Minneapolis?
In the bus station in Des Moines. We were waiting for the weather to clear. Finally, even the bus trip was canceled, so we flew to the next show in Columbus, Ohio.
Thanks, pal. We've got some work to do.
We'll be in touch.
You know where I'll be. Oh, if I had wings like an angel, over these prison walls I would fly, and I'd fly to the arms of my poor darling, and there I'd be willing to die.
Wednesday, 1:43 p.m. We asked Captain Greco to do some sleuthing for us while George checked the bag's travel itinerary and I checked the idents. The witnesses say a man in a top hat and silk scarf and a dummy, both with masks, did the robbing. They swear it was Charlie and Edgar.
Well, if Charlie is telling the truth, then the guy in Minneapolis is wrong.
Because Charlie and Edgar say they weren't there.
Well, Captain Greco was checking on the story. Pat, have you called the airlines recently?
Yes. No one has inquired about the suitcase. Hi, Captain Greco. Did you check with the promoter in Minneapolis?
Sure did. And Charlie told the truth. They couldn't get in because of the weather. They're out of jail.
What's the chart?
I've highlighted in orange Charlie and Edgar's itinerary.
Skipper, you made a Hamiltonian circuit.
Yeah, I love them. I make them every chance I get.
Me too.
They were scheduled to go from New York to Detroit, to Dayton, to Des Moines, to Minneapolis, to Columbus, and back again to New York.
Just a darn minute. Look at this. These two Hamiltonian circuits are almost the same shape.
I'll be hornswoggled if you're not right.
Well, the case could have been following Edgar and Charlie. Let's ask the airlines to pull passenger lists on these routes. Maybe one of the passengers from the Columbus to New York flight will show up on the rest of the Hamiltonian.
Thanks, Captain. That helps a lot.
De nada. I've got some people checking on whether there were other ventriloquists doing shows in those areas. I'll get back to you on that shortly.
Tuesday, Franklin, what are you doing to my case?
What do you mean, Ms. District Attorney?
I just heard those two criminals are getting out on bail on some technicality.
We don't want to see you involved in a miscarriage of justice.
A miscarriage of what?
Justice.
Oh.
Charming example of the legal profession, huh?
Any luck, Skipper?
Not much, I'm afraid.
Were there any other ventriloquists out there?
Well, near Ann Arbor, there was a ventriloquist in Ypsilanti at a mall opening. Here's the local review.
An act called Nosebleed and Snurred. Do they appear anywhere else?
Not that I found so far. Sorry.
Thanks, Captain.
Hey, you two. Or you one. It's good to see you.
Thanks for arranging bail, Mathnetters. I owe you one. What did you have to put up?
Well, $10,000 for Edgar and an electric sander for you.
Ever hear of a ventriloquist act called, what is it, George?
Nosebleed and Snurred?
No. Well, yeah, maybe. There's a stirring in the sawdust of my mind. Edgar would probably know them. Why?
Just a hunch. I'm going to call Broadway Annie.
Any change in Edgar?
Not really. This morning when I was drinking a glass of juice, I thought I saw his lips move once, but no change.
Well, he'll come around. Charlie, if you didn't do those robberies, you may have been set up.
You mean someone wanted to make people think it was us?
Exactly. Now, who would have such a motive? Who are your enemies?
We don't have any. We are the loved. And the first lad who says we aren't gets a burled in the slats.
Oh, who would stand to gain if you guys were behind bars?
The other inmates. We had those cons in stitches.
Well, you said you were going to do that big television show.
Yes, tomorrow night. As fast.
As fast?
As fast.
Right, as fast. The award show for the award shows. But with Lally missing, you lost the job.
Right.
Well, who got it?
An act I never heard of. Merlin and the Munchkins.
Guess what Annie said about Snurd and Nosebleed?
What?
She says Snurd hates Edgar and has for years.
Why?
Professional jealousy.
But he's jealous of the money and fame Edgar has?
That's about it. Annie says Nosebleed and Snurd are a terrible act.
Does she handle them?
No, no one will. They book their own gigs. Anything from mall openings to birthday parties. They're a couple of losers.
Good afternoon, D.A. Wofford. How may we be of service to your career?
Thought you'd like to know. About half of the money stolen from the 5 cities is traceable.
You mean the banks had records of the serial numbers?
Exactly. So we checked your $1 million.
And?
And none of the money matches.
But if half of the stolen money was marked, and they stole $1,300,000.
And some of it would have to match.
That's right. So we looked at the money a little more closely. It's queer.
Queer?
Counterfeit. Ever been arrested for counterfeiting, dummy?